Well, hello there everyone and welcome to a new video over here on Anton's Hardware channel. I hope you're all safe and that you're inside when, well, we're still in the corona shutdown or lockdown. I'm still inside, even though the weather outside is beautiful. It's almost 21 degrees outside. The sun is shining and I will go outside a bit later on, but I needed to finish this video before I do so. But that's beside the point of this whole video. What I wanted to talk to you about is surfing on the internet, and especially ads. Because, well, when I surf the internet, I'm always, well, very annoyed by all the pop-ups that you get, all the ads that you get, the commercial things, the little pop-ups, the requests, the consent that you must give. I don't want that. So what if I told you that there is a solution for this? And the solution is that you have a Raspberry Pi, and you only need to install some software on it. It's really easy. And after installing, it will work on every single device in your household. Your smart TV, your tablet, your phone, every computer, laptops, iPads, whatever. It will work on every device. Let's find out in this video. Now, before I get into how you should use this, I wanted to give a bit of a story about how it works. This works by not returning any responses to DNS requests. Now, what is a DNS? A DNS is a dynamic name server. It is sort of a phone book for the internet, and if you go, for instance, to CNN.com, it will do a request at the DNS server, and it says, okay, you can find CNN.com on this IP address, and it returns it to your browser, so your browser knows, okay, I go to this IP address, and voila, CNN.com pops up. But when you go to CNN.com, you will not only get or do a DNS request for CNN, you also go to Google Ads, Facebook, and all other ad suppliers and vendors that there are out there. There are tons of DNS requests just done by one website. So what this does, it looks up the request in a blacklist, and if it's on a blacklist, it just won't return any IP address. So the website just doesn't know what to display, and it will display a white, well, space where normally there would be an ad. That's what this does. So what do you need? Well, you need a Raspberry Pi. Now this is the Pi 3 Model B, which is rather standard. I got a nice case. By the way, this was all supplied to me by my good friends at VOC Electronics.nl. Check out if you want to buy a Raspberry Pi or any other of those Internet of Things stuff, you'll get it there. Raspberry Pi, a nice power supply. You need a decent power supply because it does use some power. Not a lot, I will tell you about that later. I also have a small SD card over here, which is 8 gigs. I just had that one laying around. Which is nice to have is a keyboard USB and a mouse USB. What you also need is a USB stick to install the software on, or image the software on first. Let's head over to the installation process. Now this is the installation process going on, but what you can see is sped up by 750% because the total installation time is about 17 minutes. So it's all chopped down into better proportions. Now here you have to enter your password, the region where you live. This is all standard Linux stuff that you have to do, and it didn't find the network immediately, but that was my wrongdoing. And it will install everything. It starts to reboot again. And after this, you will go into the Debian. So that's the base Linux. After that, you can install all the different things, all the options, all the settings. Now let's find out if everything works. Go through the web browser just to see if it does any web browsing. It isn't the fastest machine, but always go to antonshardware.com just to check if it works. Does it do a video? Yes, it does. Now the quality isn't that good because this isn't the fastest machine ever. And I head back over to Pi-hole again and do a one-step terminal thing. And for those who do not know what a terminal is, this is it, and you write everything, so there's no GUI there. It will start the installer, and after this it's really easy. You just have to select some things. I know it does look really complicated, but in reality it isn't. It's just a walk in the park. It starts to install everything, retrieve everything, unpack everything, and after that it will just work in headless mode. So you will go and visit the Pi-hole through a browser. Let's just start and see what happens here. I do remember that this bit during installation was extremely long, and when I did this, it was at 67. I actually had this done again because I thought it crashed somewhere, but it didn't. It just takes a long time to install. So just be patient, and when it reaches 100%, you will see this screen. It starts all these services and everything. Bit of a boopsie there. And there it is. It's all set now. Okay, so you've installed Raspbian, you've installed the Pi-hole software, and you have everything well suited for well, normal operation. You do not need to have a keyboard attached to it, you don't need to have a mouse attached to it. No monitor is because you will go through this device via a browser. So you can just chuck it into the cupboard where your router from your internet supplier is and forget about it, because it will only, well, do the DNS requests. This is the screen where you go to when you go to the web browser of the Pi-hole. You can see it, it's active, the temperature, the load, the memory usage. There's not a lot of memory in the Pi-hole, but it's there. You can also see a lot of other things, like the queries that have been done by 27 clients in my network, how many have been blocked, the percentage, and the domains on the block list. Now here you can see the internet activity for the last 24 hours. What's interesting is that you can still see some internet activity during the nights of the time when we sleep. You can see when we get up and when we go to bed. But there is still some stuff going on that it's mainly due to the, well, there are several things. The one of them is the Philips Hue. Now you can log into this screen and you can break down which devices have done what. The types of queries that have been done, IPv4, IPv6, which queries have been answered by the block list, the cache, or which resolver you have been using. Now I've used OpenDNS just because of I could, and I thought it was cool. You can use several others, also the ones that are used by your internet service provider. So how much power does it use? Well, it's in the boot up phase at this moment, so it uses a bit more than on a regular basis, because once it starts running it will use about 3.1 3.2 watts, and it will, well, during booting it will go to 4, sometimes 5 watts, but that's peak. It's the peak wattage that is used. Now it's all nice to see how the mechanics work and how to install it and what's going on with the installing and well, how much wattage it uses. But what you want to know is what's the difference between with a Pi-hole and without a Pi-hole. So what does the website look like? How much data is downloaded? And well, how much time does it take you to download a particular website? So here are some results of some websites that I visited. They're all over the country. There are Dutch sites, there's one South African, there's a Chinese one, there are several in the UK, there's America, there's, well, all over the world. There are tech sites, non-tech sites. These are the times. So what you see here is that the blue line is with the Pi-hole and the red line is without a Pi-hole. Now it's interesting to see that PC Gamer, Tom's Hardware and Anand Tech are the ones that took the longest without the Pi-hole to load. Well, it takes the longest time. And when you go over to how much data has been downloaded, you can see it again. PC Gamer, Tom's Hardware and Anand Tech and PC Peer all have the most data, and they also have the most, well, the ads that they display are responsible for half the data that you download. What's interesting to me is that the only difference where without the Pi-hole is better than with a Pi-hole was the Xinhao website, which is a Chinese news site. That's the only one that when I didn't have the Pi-hole was lesser data and it was a bit faster to download. So that was really interesting. But okay, well, let's take a look at what the differences are. Okay, so these are the websites. Let's head over to Anand Tech. This is with a Pi-hole and this is without the Pi-hole. You can see the ads in the top and on the right there. Now this is PC Gamer with a Pi-hole. This is without. So this is the first time that I loaded it. You can see that you get a pop-up of your privacy. This is PC Mac with a Pi hole, and this is without. This is PC Peer. This is without with a Pi hole. This is without. You can see the ads there. This is TechSpot. This is with a Pi hole. This is without. Again, a pop-up over privacy. This is the Mirror with a Pi hole, and this is without a Pi hole. The Sun with a Pi hole, without a Pi hole, and this is Tom's Hardware with a Pi hole and without a Pi hole. Now that's all very nice, Anton, I can almost hear you say, but does all the internet traffic have to go through a Raspberry Pi or Raspberry Pi? No, that's just the idea. It's just the DNS requests that go through here, not the internet connection itself. So when you're downloading, this thing doesn't do anything. Computer will just easily go to your router of your internet service provider, your ISP. So this only does the DNS request, so it won't slow down your internet. So how cool is it that to have this installed in your network? Well, I've used it for a month now. Apparently it's not attached now, but because I'm creating the video. But it's really cool because the internet will actually get faster. You do not have any annoying pop-ups. It doesn't work like an ad blocker where sometimes websites just don't work anymore, or you will get a mention that the pop-up or that the website just won't function. So I generally dislike ad blockers, but this is not an ad blocker. It's a ad takeawayer or something. So would I recommend you? Well, in these Corona times when we all have to sit inside and we have to get ourselves to enjoy ourselves a little bit more, if you know what I mean, you can always pick up a new project and just install Pi-hole and a Raspberry Pi. Now, there is some technical knowledge needed, but once you've got it running, it's great, and it doesn't use any power. Get it now! That's it from me for today. Please leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.